There's lots of stuff to see at the Henry Ford Museum. Got the Wienermobile over there. And different dioramas and displays all over the place. And see over there you got your farm equipment beyond the mile houses. You can see them all over there. Here's some steam threshing equipment and an Avery traction engine over there. You can see it behind there. And a whole lot of collection of furniture and home furnishings, crystal chandeliers, of all sorts. It's a very big collection in a museum like this. When you think about museums, you probably think about the Louvre and the Smithsonian. Probably next on your list should be the Henry Ford. Probably one of the largest collections that you're going to find anywhere, especially in the state of Michigan, right in our backyard. Coming down this way, we're in the front hall here. See the making of a Model T, with the whole process going on above. It's not actually making a Model T, it's just a display. And displays of Made in America. Down here, got the Abraham Lincoln display about the end of slavery and freedom in America. Got Thomas Edison's work here. Thomas Edison and Henry Ford, seen there. Got the big airplane hanging in the back. It's a DC-3, I think. Get in here. Just see the sheer size of this museum. And it's all indoors. All sorts of classic automobiles and newer ones here by the diner. Yeah, a carriage and a streetcar over here. And here we go. What a lot of people come for, the presidential limousine display. We got two of them. This is the Reagan car. This is the same one from '81 after he got elected. He was shot, and this is the one that transported him to the hospital, where of course he survived. Here's the information on that. It's a fully armored, fully detailed car. As opposed to this one is the Kennedy car. It was later rebuilt to be fully armored after the incident in 1963, Kennedy's assassination. This is the car he was riding in Dallas when he was shot. Here's more information on the car. And the scene from that day. Some modifications to it after it was cleaned up of the matter that was inside from the people being shot at and the bullet. It was completely redone, and one of the things that are featured is the full steel top, fully armored glass, ensuring safety. And just like the other car, it's got the step pedals, handholds for the Secret Service agents. Lots of stuff to see here. Horse-drawn carriages, more presidential limousines. I like the clock. That's nice stuff. A lot more vehicles over in this area. This is the bubble top limo. Eisenhower Road in this one. Note the distinctive bubble. Going way earlier to the 1930s, I believe. Got the Sunshine Special. This is the one that Franklin Roosevelt rode. Not bad. Not bad at all. And of course, you got your early carriages as well that the earlier presidents rode in. But what we're here for is the trains. Okay, gotta look at some of the other train displays here. Got a replica of the DeWitt Clinton right here. The original one was built in 1831. And look at just how rudimentary it was. Very, very simple. You can see the stagecoach type cars that it pulled. Basically, that's what they were. So, yeah, can't haul a lot of people on these. You can haul some more up top or their luggage. You see the Allegheny over here again.
The kids here, you press the button.
So, you get an idea of where steam locomotion has come from. Here we got a replica of the 1829 Rocket. This one was built in 1929, the 100th anniversary, by Stevenson Locomotive Company in England as a replica of the original one they built, that George Stephenson built back then. Henry Ford had built for himself. And they didn't do too bad of a job. The original one is back in England. So not bad for trying to model a 100-year-old locomotive. And of course we have the Sam Hill 440. It was renamed the President for its last run. And it brought the presidential celebrities to the opening of the museum back in 1929. And that was its last run. It was originally named the Satilla, for the Atlantic and Gulf Railroad back in 1858. And then Henry Ford bought it about 60 years later, renamed it the Sam Hill. Not a bad looking locomotive either. You can kind of see here, it's a wood burner, and you get the idea of just what the engineer had to say. It's got the high back wood seat and all the controls there. A lot simpler than the 1601, which we are kind of in the shadow of right here. Coming down here, we got connected to the 1601, a 1924 wooden reefer. And basically, it is like the ones that you've seen on your model railroads or in museums now. All made of wood. And at the top, you can see the where the access hatch is for the ice. Kind of. I don't know if you can see the latch bar there, right there. And they got them on both ends of the car. There's 4 of them. And that's where they feed the ice into. Of course, you got the insulated doorway as well. Folds out. So, and they lock up against the side here when you're loading. Behind us here, we got the one of the early coaches from most likely the 1850s and 60s. This one does not have a clear story. It's a flat roof coach built for the Banner and Aroostook Railroad up in Maine. And you can tell just like other Wood coaches, and specifically like the Huckleberry cars up in Flint. It's got the truss rods helping to hold the sides together. See the main beam of the car underneath here, connected to where the coupler is, which is a basic Lincoln pin coupler, goes up into the car and then is covered by the wood underneath on the undercarriage. And of course, no air brakes, as you can see, just the handbrakes. And they got so you can actually see up into the car. You can see back then the brakes were made of wood as well. You see the lamps. They're electrically lit now, but those are oil lamps in there. So most of these places do these so that way they can have modern lighting, more efficient that way. Behind the reefer you can see some street cars. Actually, I think there's two of them behind here. Yep. That Collins Municipal. I think that's a Brill streetcar. And we got an earlier horse-drawn version behind it. Up here, we got DT9 number 77, an original 1925 Wind caboose ordered by Henry Ford himself. And order of cabooses from Standard Steel Car Company. And, I don't know if you can read these. They're kind of small print for the camera. So yeah, Henry Ford bought the DT9 railroad and turned it from a money loser to a virtually $1 million enterprise pretty much overnight. This was back in 1920. And he owned it for several years until he sold it to the Pennsylvania Railroad to divest a lot of his non-automotive assets. Here we have a Canadian Pacific snowplow that was in service until 1990. It was built in 1923. You can see the wedge design here. It is a very interesting one. This is not a, I don't think it's a Russell type snowplow, just because of the wings, the excess wings on it. You can see it's kind of shiny, you might not be able to see that. But yeah, the point is, it's a pretty interesting device to clear snow off your tracks. Of course, the crew would sit in there and work the flanger. And most of the time when it's running, you'd be up in that cupola, similar to what you'd be in a caboose, only you'd be at the front of the train. Behind us here we have original Detroit and Mackinac combine, made of wood, donated by the railroad, along with one of their switchers, which is in the village, as well as a caboose that is currently being restored. So this car will ran on the east side of the state around the coast. As you can see, it's got the Turtle logo up there, as the Detroit and Mackinac Railroad was known as the Turtle Route for some time. That logo was later replaced by Mackinac Mac. And as you can see, the parcels in here, the old parcels that would have been common back in the day in the baggage section. Excuse me. And we got the passenger section up here. Pretty well lit. You can see the seats in there, kind of plush even for back then. Of course, you got truss rods down here, just like all the other wooden cars, to hold the sides together. But this one has the steel beam reinforcement underneath instead of just the wood beam, which makes it a lot stronger. As you can see, they're pretty close at saving space in here too. Here we have Henry Ford's private car. This is the Fairlane, built in 1921 for Ford and his family by the Pullman Company. I'll go on the other side and get a better view of that. Here we have one of the original Ingersoll Rand box cab diesel electric locomotives. An actual diesel electric, not a full electric. So one of the early ones that were around. Oops, excuse me. This one was used out in Pennsylvania. the Detroit River tunnel used to have full electrics run underneath, similar to this. And right here we have number 154, a Bessemer and Lake Erie Railroad Consolidation 280, built by Baldwin in 1909. It's actually a heavy consolidation, just based on its size, but it has inside valve gear, which is very interesting to me, just based because of the size of the locomotive. As you can see, no valve gear on the outside, all on the inside. So no extra rods. It has the headlight mounted on the front on the smoke box door instead of up there. Telling me this might have been rebuilt a couple of times during its time on the BNLE. As you can see, it's considered a drag consolidation. It basically it would haul coal up to Lake Erie and then ore back down to the mills. It's a very big consolidation locomotive. Actually, I think if it was any longer, it would be a Mikado. They would have to add an axle on the back. But in place of that, it's kind of counterweighted by the big air pistons for the brake system. See the big lever there. Wow. So, I think this would be considered a keyhole firebox, if I'm not mistaken, as it goes in between the drivers. Somewhere in here, you have to have a device to. It's actually probably on the engineer's side, the device to open up the hopper for the ashes to fall down. The jacket is in pretty good shape though. So it does have a separator up there for the blowdown, and you can see the dynamo up there. Not bad looking, in pretty good shape. You can see the engineer's side here. It actually has an air power reverse lever, similar to what the 1601 has. Just a slightly different design. I'm not sure which company that is though. So we're gonna go down here and have another look at the Fairlane. Okay, so we're looking at the Fairlane private car, Henry Ford's private car, built in 1921. Used by his family until 1942. Pretty nice. I mean, luxury travel. It's been rebuilt probably a few times. This door has been removed, and the ventilation system, there's an air conditioner behind it, big air conditioner unit for its refrigeration. So that's really the only obvious difference as to say when it was built. See, it's still got the door on this side. Has roller bearings, so the trucks were probably rebuilt on it some time ago. It's got an electrical system, Westinghouse electrical system. It is fully HEP compliant, so you could run this on the end of an Amtrak train if you wanted. It's got telephone lines, extra outlet on there. Got your battery box, toolboxes here. You got your tanks to haul your water, your microphore. So yeah, pretty much everything in one car here. And this is the bedroom section back here, and back here is the dining room and living section. There's if you look down there, this side has actually got better. You can, because we're not squeezed in by the box cab on the other side. You can see the observation platform on the back end here. And this has a sitting room on the back. So not bad. It's really presidential when you think about it. So back down this way, like I mentioned, we're going to go up on the platform and see inside of it. You can kind of see in the windows right up there, but not much. They also have the living quarters for the servants to live in and travel with the Fords as well. So yeah, we're gonna go up there and see. This is the entry door, how they get the trains in here. It's been modified over the years. It had to be rebuilt to fit the Allegheny in here. Not used much because they pretty much got all the equipment that they need to have stored in here. But every now and then, you might notice after a couple of years coming here that they change some things around. So, yeah, you can see the curtains on the outside there. They're pretty nicely done, pretty ornate, when you think about it. So, and you can see all the lights on the chandelier there, all of them lit. You can imagine if this were an earlier private car, there'd be oil lamps or even candles, actual candle chandelier up there. So, yeah, looking up in here, this is the dining area. You can see their dining room table right there. Kind of looks like someone's opened packages in there, but very nicely done. Okay, going over to the roadway exhibit now. We're looking at a model of the very first electric locomotive built by Thomas Edison in 1880, and the train that it pulled. This is an actual working model of it. Here's the photo done of it, a representation of that, and some very interesting information. We're actually standing in a section about electric power and different engines and motors. There's a big electric one. It's actually working. Got steam engine for boats and for factories and generating stations. Cross section of one of those factories, and some more engines on this side. These are the steam engines over here, and an operating coreless steam engine on the other side for your big factories. They just started that one up, and supposedly it's going to run for a half hour. Other ones over here, and generating stations. Get a better look of it over here. You can see how it's running. Very innovative engine.
Go ahead, honey. I'm high enough.
Okay. You can just get a sense of the large diameter of the factory wheel here, and it has to go underneath the ground. Looking back and forth. Very interesting.